Welcome to 247 Real Talk. I'm your host, Julian Perry, and it's a pleasure to be here with you once again for another episode of the 247 Real Talk podcast. I hope you had a great week. What was that? Was it Thanksgiving week since we spoke? I'm not sure. I have to get the dates right. Yes, it was. I had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you did too. There's family and friends who blessed my home with their presence. I'm thankful to each and every one of them and those who sent messages of hope and thanks and encouragement. I appreciate you all. This episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about hopes and how they shape your future. So sit back, relax, and we're going to have a conversation. So may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. For Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back again. Welcome to the show. Before I start this episode, it will not be a long episode, but before I start, I want to bring attention to my thoughts about the podcast as I continue. It was a while, and it took a while for me, as you know, to make a decision as to whether I was going to continue on or not, and I changed direction and I decided to be more inspirational. And I've noticed I've got a set of new subscribers. I also noticed that a lot have unsubscribed. And as I ponder that, there are many reasons why people unsubscribe, but something someone mentioned to me is that now that I've switched from controversy and the whole political ideology battle and hatred and fight that is gripping our nation and filling it with racism and prejudice, people are not interested. People need drama. People need anger. People need emotional turmoil. Well, no. I'm hoping that more of you will come, more of you will join, more of you will be part of the conversation, and hopefully even those who felt that they weren't getting fed, their anger wasn't getting fed, they weren't being fueled, will come back for a different set of fuel. So most weeks I do record based on my something I get from my pastor, and this week is no different. He sent me something here. It's a quote from Robert H. Schuller that says, "Let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future." And that is so poignant in today's world. Let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. We're all human. And so much has gone on to create divisiveness in this society that we're filled with rage and anger. Have you ever noticed how quickly people fly off the handle? Have you ever noticed how quickly angry words come out of people's mouths? Have you ever noticed how quickly someone will give you an evil eye? Have you ever noticed how quickly these days someone will dismiss you? Have you ever noticed how quickly people will grip tighter and tighter to anger and frustration and to lashing out because somehow they feel that gives them a sense of relief? But what they fail to realize is every single moment that we live in this life is one moment closer to when we leave this life. And right before we commit our next act, before we make our next decision, that moment that we're approaching is our future. How are we approaching our future? Are we approaching our future with this rationale and this mechanism going on in our head of how we have to get even? How we have to survive by crushing someone else? How helping someone is not in our toolkit, but forcing someone. Even when I shared with my audience about my job and that manager who felt that oppression and inhumanity and making people quit because they berate them and chastise them and constantly hammer away at them with negativity till even the best employee becomes the worst because they can't function. They go home with this anger and this feeling of exhaustion and discomfort and anxiety, and sometimes it spills over into their family life, and they feel after a while that the only way to survive is to quit one of the two. And that manager who left, the last one that she caused to retire, left 18 months before getting her full pension. She only needed 18 months more, and she couldn't stand the onslaught of the verbal abuse and mental abuse and emotional abuse from morning till night. And at certain levels of management, they call you at night and they call you at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you walk into work and it's boom, you hit the door, and you're not given a moment's peace, and a lot of times it's orchestrated. Most times the things I witnessed were orchestrated. It was like a target. Keep looking at her. If she steps the wrong way, hit her. If she turns left instead of right, jump on her. If she, and this is what went on until she couldn't take it anymore. Her future was forcibly shaped for her. And after she retired, I've spoken with her a few times. This is not the manager. This is the manager who was forced to retire. And what she did was she made a decision with a hope that is now crafting her future. She was forced into where she is. But what is remarkable about her when I speak with her is she's not bitter. The highest level manager who hired her, who betrayed her, she told me he told her, I'm sorry. Because she told him, she says, I'll never forgive you for ripping me out of my previous position where I was happy and could have retired, bringing me here and begging me to come work for you to help you, and then you turned around and betrayed me. And he said, yeah, I treated you badly, I'm sorry. She says, I accept your apology, but I'll never forgive you. But I'm not sure about that part, because I have found that people have done some horrific things to me, but forgiveness is a beautiful methodology to freeing the soul. But what I admire about her is she decided she will forgive him. Well, she said she accepted his apology, she won't forgive him. But when I've spoken to her, she has released any anger. She's happy. Someone saw her the other day and told me she even looks younger already. And this is what we all need to aspire to do. To take all of the things that are happening and that we're being subjected to that are negative, and find a way to make sure that those things don't shape who we are and how we live our future, which in turn can impact our lives and the outcome of our future. There are a lot of angry, hateful people in this world. We see it every day around us. From every single person, every single type of job, anyone with power, they all find a way to exhale upon someone else with all their negativity. And we know that energy never disappears. It travels from one form to the other. So what they do is they pass their negativity, their hatred, their evil, their horrific lies. They take that energy and they ball it up and they pass it on to you. And you and I have got to decide what we're going to do with it. Are we going to let it swallow us up? Are we going to let it rip us apart? Or are we going to turn around and let it go? Whatever we do and however we do it determines what our future looks like. Think about the impact. And I had to deal with this when this woman was coming down on me, which she still is, but I'm doing better because every day I put God first. I put faith first. And it's amazing how when you ask God to help you and you think that you're at your end, and I was at my end beyond. I looked for so many ways to quit. And my cousins and my friends and my families and I won't call their names because but that's the truth. I've got two cousins named Marilyn, and both of them from one side to the other prop me up with words of inspiration, with words of hope, with reminders of who we are, whose we are. This podcast, this responsibility I've taken of using who I am as a vessel for for the message of our Creator, for the good in the world, to help to lift people, comes with tremendous stress and burdens at times, because you've got to recognize the darkness in the world to be able to speak light into the world. And I've got so many people that are inspiring around me, and they remind me that faith is an amazing thing. I was ready to quit. My blood pressure went through the roof. I collapsed one day. I was done. But everybody kept behind me, reminding me. People at my church kept praying and calling me. Never give up. Never forget who you are, whose you are. And all of a sudden I'd go to work and realize that the day was over, and a whole bunch of events happened that put space in between me and that manager. And I don't know where this ends up, but the last meeting I had with her, I was almost shocked, because she agreed with me on something, and she was actually very pleasant. And maybe that's for her own preservation, because maybe the complaints have gotten as such as whatever. But the point is, I'm attributing it all to faith. The strength I get that gives me a peace that surpasses all understanding does not come from me. It comes from He who created us. So for those of you who don't necessarily like my message because it is no longer filled with controversy but filled with hope, I call you to join this hope, this voice, this effort for us to survive in a world that's looking to oppress us, that's looking to change who we are and turn us into who it wants us to become. But as long as we remain faithful to who created us, we remain faithful to each other, and we provide the support we need. As long as the message said, and I want to get it right, let your hopes, those things that you have for better, let those things mold and craft your future, not your hurts. Your hurts will always be there to be opportunistic, to steal your joy. Let us speak positivity to each other. Let us remember that you have a choice to hope or to hurt, to be angry or to hope, to think and believe in a good future or to decide there is no good future. One of those things will automatically lift your mood and lift your efforts and give you will to push on. And one of them will break you down. I have been where my hurts were so much that I was ready to give up. And I'm so thankful for those people around me with hope and faith. Take my messages, implement them in your lives. Remember them each day, because I bring them to you because I want you to experience what I experience when I put hope and faith first. There are enough of you in the world who believe that we can be infectious and support each other and even infect those who don't believe. I've often told people that even if they don't believe in God, if they were to read the Bible, its lessons are great lessons to live life by. I have seen people already. I witnessed someone a couple of weeks ago who told me that they don't really believe, but they're going through something in their life, and they said to me, it's ironic because I pray for a change. And I want to believe that my presence in their life has given them doubt about their belief that we are just existing here with no creator. And beginning to worm its way into their hearts and their minds, and making them realize that they didn't come here by their own, they're not leaving it on their own. That their life has purpose, and that purpose is the journey through life to the goal beyond this life. There are people out there who will always be ready to hurt you, be ready to speak negativity, ready to change your life. But I encourage you, join me in this conversation. This week is a short one, some weeks it's longer. But join me as we move forward. And let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. Draw me close to you, Lord. Grant me the proximity that I can hear the whisper of the voice of God in the places where words fall away. Let me hear you. Stir hope in me, hope that heals, hope that anchors, hope that carries me forward. Bless me today with the hope that comes from your promises. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Lo, I am with you always. May hope rise in me as a small stirring, your warmth rising in the places where I need peace, courage, faith, and new beginnings. Let me recognize its source. Tune me into your frequency today that I may follow hope when it calls, and be patient enough to wait when hope is still forming. In all things this day, lead me back to you, our Creator, remembering who we are and whose we are. Remembering that hope is not a magic pill, but hope is the catalyst and the beginning of the journey, and something you carry with you along the journey until you see the good things that He who created us has prepared for those who believe. Let us help each other with encouragement and hope. Take care of yourselves and each other. Until the next time.